Hello, my name is Richard McNolly, and my thesis project was on positive reinforcement classroom management. So, this thesis investigated the impact of a 4 week positive reinforcement classroom management strategy on task behavior among 8th grade ELL students, English language learners, and native English speaking students who were all in a self contained classroom. The main research question, the primary research question, examines how this strategy can reduce the amount of redirection by 25% for both native English speakers and ELLs. Additionally, the study explores sub-questions concerning the effects of student involvement in goal setting on academic performance, the influence of active engagement and behavior management on students' well-being, and the application of self-regulation strategies outside of the classroom. This project aims to provide valuable insights into effective management practices that foster positive learning environments. So the primary research question was, how can implementing a 4 week positive reinforcement classroom management strategy increase on-task behavior for 8th grade ELL students in a self-contained class? And we will be measuring like the decreasing the amount of redirections by 25% for both the native English speakers and the English language learners. There was some sub questions. The first one is, how will including students in the goal setting process impact them academically? The second was, how will students' well-being be affected by active engagement in creating their own behavior management system? And the third, how will students use these strategies to self-regulate outside of the classroom? The objective of this research was to evaluate the effectiveness of the 4 week positive reinforcement strategy in increasing on-task behavior among 8th grade students in a self-contained classroom, and to reduce the need for teacher redirection by 25%. Also, to examine the impact of student involvement in goal setting on academic performance. Also, to assess how active student engagement in behavior management affects their emotional well being, and to explore whether students apply self regulation strategies learned in the classroom to environments outside of the school. Now, the setting and the participants. This study took place in an 8th grade self contained special education math class at the Brooklyn Science and Engineering Academy located in East Flatbush, Brooklyn. The class included 8 students, all between the ages of 11 and 14, all whom have IEPs. 3 of those students are ELLs, they're English language learners, and those ELLs came from the Caribbean and Venezuela. So over 4 weeks, I had a positive reinforcement classroom management strategy implemented, where students participated in weekly goal setting sessions and received daily recognition for meeting their behavior expectations. As far as data collection, there was a mixed method approach where we had behavior tracking logs that monitored on task behavior and teacher redirections, student self assessments, which were weekly reflections on engagement, well being, and self regulation, teacher observations, where I documented behavioral trends and classroom interactions. As far as data analysis, the quantitative was compared redirection rates and on task behavior percentages. Qualitative was thematic analysis of student reflections and teacher notes to identify patterns in motivation, emotional well being, and autonomy. So, as far as the outcomes, my goal was achieved. The teacher redirections decreased by 28%, which actually surpassed the original 25% target. The ELL students showed a slightly greater improvement, a 30% reduction, compared to the native English speakers, which was a 26% reduction. The on-task behavior rose from 65% to 84% over the 4 weeks. Academic engagement. Students' self-assessed academic focus increased by 35%. Voluntary participation during class nearly doubled. Goal setting created ownership over learning, leading to deeper classroom involvement. The emotional well-being, at the start, 60% of students felt supported. By week 4, that number rose to 88%. Students reported feeling more confident, valued, and motivated, being that they were instrumental in creating a lot of this. Self-regulation development. The self-regulation practices improved by 40% based on student self-assessments. Students use techniques like deep breathing and pausing to refocus both in and out of the classroom. This action research study demonstrated that a 4-week positive reinforcement classroom management strategy significantly improved on-task behavior, reduced teacher redirections, and enhanced student engagement, emotional well-being, and self-regulation, especially among the ELLs. By involving students in setting behavior goals and recognizing their success, the intervention created a more supportive, inclusive, and student-centered classroom environment. These findings align with behaviorist and sociocultural theories, showing that when students feel empowered and respected, they are more likely to take ownership of their behavior and learning. While the sample size was limited, this study highlights the potential for positive reinforcement and goal setting to transform classroom dynamics, especially in special education. So, thank you.